Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, happy Friday, everyone, and welcome to the Dark Roast. I'm Donna Stroll, and I'm here with the always lovely and talented Rose Short.
What up?
And today's topic is how to choose the right affiliate network for your niche and comparing platforms and features. So when we're talking networks, it's a little bit different than, do you choose Instagram or TikTok? That's not what we're talking about here.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time talking about like where to find affiliate offers, how to get them, things like that, but we don't necessarily dive into like the best platforms for building your community, right? So Russell Brunson, who is the like god of digital marketing, right? He's the creator of ClickFunnels. He recently said in an interview, the future of marketing is not AI, it's not funnels, it's community. And I think we're seeing that a lot and more, right? Like when you and I first started affiliate marketing, there was a huge push to create a Facebook group, join Facebook groups. There's a lot of marketers who are taught to poach Facebook groups, which is a whole nother ethical dilemma. But that was taught for a reason, right? Groups and community are a fantastic way to get you in front of the right people every single time.
Yeah. Which makes sense because, your community, right? That's how you're going to, not only is it how you're reaching people who are within your niche, but it's also that support network that when you're a solopreneur, you don't necessarily have as much of. So,
Exactly. Yeah. So this is not to say that funnels are dead in any way, shape, or form. It's
yeah.
just you can use your funnel to build your community or movement around a shared belief or cause or product in this case. And funnels are still super, super important, but this is just kind of another tool in your toolkit. When you have a strong community, you've got a shared identity, a shared purpose, and it's really, really crucial for long-term success, right? This is why the flavor of the month programs don't last, but the health and wellness niche, for example, like that's never going to die, right? Because that's basically what you're doing is building a community of people who are concerned about their health, their wellness, all that kind of things. Um, and it can be a great place for your clientele or your customer base to share their frustrations as well, either with whatever's happening in your niche or even with your product.
Yeah. And that allows you direct access to pivot when you need to as well. Instead of wondering why your numbers are dropping off, your community is going to tell you, so that you can really take that information and work with it right away. Instead of waiting for the fallout to happen, you can sort of get ahead of it instead of behind it.
Yeah.
So, pardon me. So, there are some really good benefits towards networking over direct influencing. Direct influence is like your posting, your content creation, your TikToks and all that stuff. You work solo, you build your audience solo. You might have a mentor or something like that, but everything you do is very, very solo. And most of us are solopreneurs. So we do understand that's really exhausting. It's super exhausting and it can feel very overwhelming in a sense, just because and it can get very lonely, right? If you don't have that group to help you. With networking, things like LinkedIn or Reddit or Discord, you're tapping into an existing trust. There's already communities built. So you don't have to build that from the ground up. You're tapping into something that already exists. It gives you links to existing experts, how to's, inside ideas, things that maybe when you're working on your own, you just don't have access to, or you have to dig too much to try and find it. That's super helpful.
Yeah.
And then, of course, accelerated learning, right? We're always talking about educating yourself. So with the communities, you're going to learn more like little tricks and tips of the trade that you might not necessarily have when you're running solo. And also, there's longevity in it that isn't in the postings and the content creation. If you're an influencer and you don't mind doing stuff like, spending a lot of time online to do that kind of stuff, more power to you, right? But if you find that that is just draining you, like, so much, then maybe you should be looking at more into the networks and the communities and building around that instead.
Yeah. And even if you're joining an existing community, right? Like you can be the go-to person just by building trust and my brain's not working this morning. What's the word? Reliability is not the right word, but that's what we're gonna go with right now. To where if you're active enough in a group and a new person has a question, there might be many group members who refer them to you just based on how you've helped
Absolutely.
them. So
Yeah, I mean, you become recognized as an expert within that field or within that community, um, which you'll see in a lot of communities, right? If you go to, say, System.io, right? You go in there and you're going to see tons of posts about various different things, like people who are funnel builders. But say you have a question specifically about the program itself, on how to utilize certain aspects of it, you'll find right away this person, talk to this person, talk to this person, and it'll be the same person over and over again. That's a good way for you, within existing communities, to build your reputation and become recognized as a top person to go to, within your niche, which is super helpful because you're building that trust and you're building authority. Um, and you didn't actually have to create the community to do that. The community was already built for you. You just have to make sure that whatever you're putting in there is useful information and is actually helpful to the people.
yeah, you're not just poaching for a sale. You're legitimately trying to help, which is
Yeah.
super important. So when we talk about networks, like where would you find these, right? So the first one, I will admit that I am not a fan of. I absolutely freaking hate it, but I do recognize that it is extremely beneficial within our niche, and that is school. So 𝐂𝐎𝐍𝐶 talks about school all the time. It's an all-in-one community platform designed to replace like Facebook groups, course platforms, and coaching forums. It kind of puts everything into one. So you can build out your community. You can have your free community. You can have a paid blog community. You can build out a course, build out a coaching platform, quizzes, all this kind of stuff, right? So you get the benefit of the private community with the course hosting and gamified engagement, which is super powerful. So it's kind of similar to a Facebook group within the feed, but there's no distractions, there's no ads. It's all just your people. Now, I will say as well, it's not free to set up a community within school. I think you are allowed to join communities for free, but it's $100 to set up your own. So this is not necessarily for the person that's just starting out unless you have all these resources already.
Right.
But members can post, comment, share media, share success stories, ask questions, all these kind of things. And again, you can do your course training modules. So you can have videos, PDFs, all your other resources, similar to how you would put them in a Facebook group, but in its own little tab. You can do gamified engagement similar to Facebook, where you can recognize people who are, engaging a lot, top fans. They can earn points for engagement and climbing leaderboards, which helps encourage activities, whether it be asking questions, joining coaching calls, promoting a product, any of those kind of things. You can schedule live calls, challenges, group activities, stuff like that. There's a built-in calendar, and it's pretty easy to use. It's not super complicated. It's pretty beginner friendly.
Right. So, I mean, if you're already established or you've already got some financial going, then this might be something that you want to move into, especially if you are a course creator, right? That's going to be something that might be super helpful for you. Again, when we try to provide this stuff, we try to provide it at multiple levels. So while we understand that this isn't free, and we aren't affiliates for it either, it's just, we're just letting you know that this is an option or an opportunity for you. LinkedIn is another one. Okay. So LinkedIn, free. You can upgrade, obviously, and it's not super expensive, but Now, LinkedIn is better if you're doing business to business marketing. And yes, there is affiliate marketing in business to business. So don't think that that's not like, I mean, software as a service is a big one. Recruiters is another big one. So that's a good way to do it. It connects you with, you can connect with program managers and you can ask questions. I mean, you see it a lot of time in the posts. You can share case studies or mini wins to help build your authority. The audience is already there with LinkedIn. And especially if you go out and seek specific people, you can search for like affiliate manager and a company to find the decision makers, and then you can ask them questions. You can reach out to them and see if they'd be willing to do an interview with you, because live is an option on LinkedIn as well. All those kinds of things. So if you're more business to business related, this might be a good place for you. Even if you're like a social media manager, maybe you run a team of social media managers. This is an excellent place for you to reach out to people versus social media itself. Because all that stuff stays on your page, and the more that you reach out and connect and stuff, you get some followers, and it does actually matter. So
Yeah, they also have a new feature where you can, I think, request someone's assistance on a project. But I will say, if you're not a premium member, it won't let you view the requests. So it's a
yeah,
nice feature, but it's not usable for everybody.
yeah.
So, Reddit's another one we've talked about before. That's really, really good. Again, I don't personally use Reddit. I know you do though, and I know many people who do, because it tends to be people who are honest and middle of the road, right? So versus reviews where the good ones are paid for and the bad ones are just people who are pissed off. Reddit's more real life experience. So there are rules with what you can and cannot share, I believe, within, like, as far as links and whatnot go. So definitely, this is where you share value, not drop your links everywhere. But you can get instant feedback if you're considering an affiliate program or something like that. Of, is it a good program? Does it suck? Does it pay on time? Is payment an issue? Like, this is all kinds of stuff you can usually find there. And then if you've had a number of people that have had a similar one issue with a particular thing that you promote, you can search that in Reddit too. And then if you're finding people there as well, give that advice. And again, it's kind of similar to the group where you're not selling anything, but you're setting yourself up as the authority.
Quora would be the same concept as well. Quora has the same thing. Now, with Reddit and Quora, you'll get your AI people who respond, and that's really super irritating. Um, but they're pretty obvious, and people will point them out right away. And there's a lot of subreddits, or the things like that, where you could just look into affiliate marketing. But say you're in health and wellness, you can look into that, or say your baby toys, or your software. You can find communities within those and actually work on it. The same as if we were in gaming, like we talked about gaming a couple of weeks ago. You can look at stuff under that and find your communities pretty easily that you can go into and be a good part of it. And then Discord's the same thing. You want to look for niche specific servers. So whether you're a writer or a developer, or you're a health coach, or you're a life coach, or whatever it is, you can go in Discord and find those channels that are specific to those kinds of things. Creator communities, private affiliate program chats. We've had that ourselves on Discord, where you can set up chats for and break it down for new people and everything else, while you're also involved in other chats, or other community or other boards that are very specific. You can help build your authority there. So like we say, the same as you would with a Facebook group. The reason we keep relating back to a Facebook group is because that's probably where most of us learned our first what a community is and how to work within a community. And all of these follow those same kind of principles. They're just opportunities to expand. They're networks outside of your basic everyday average social media.
Yeah. And Facebook groups in and of themselves can be a way for you to make money without even selling a product. Because let's say you have a Facebook group designed around keto, right? Like you're really into keto, you want to connect with a bunch of other people who are into keto, and you build out this group. There have been times, like I've had this with my ice bath group, where business owners will join the group and reach out to me and be like, "Hey, if a sale is made because of your group, do you want a percentage, or can I give you a percentage of that sale?" Um, and so then affiliates, they're reaching out to you, which is really cool.
Yeah.
But again, like it depends on what your group is about, right? If your group is about you being the mentor for affiliate marketing, you probably don't want someone reaching out to you and being like, "Hey, if I get a coaching client from your group, can I pay you?" Like, no, get the hell out of my group, right? So, and this
Yeah.
again is where we talk about like some of the bad marketing that was being taught, 5, 10 years ago. So,
Hmm.
just like anything else, right? You can have as many groups as you want around as many things as you're an expert in. But I would say when you're first starting out, pick one or two to focus on, right?
Yeah.
And we've talked about this before. Niche down, get your focus set, and then start from branching out from there.
Yeah. At least have a good understanding of who your core people are. Now, that doesn't mean that you need to know them. You don't need to know where they shop every day and what time they go to bed. But what we do mean is, are you trying to reach people? Are you trying to reach the millennials and finance, right? Or are you trying to reach the people over 50 and retirement, or people over 50 and health and wellness? Are you try to get it down to at least enough. And then also, part of niching down is looking at, like we did talk about, we have talked about niching down before. It's really about finding out who you are and how you want to promote what works for you, because your ideal client is going to resonate with who you are. So that means that they're probably going to have some things in common with you. So it's a good place to start and figure that out from there. And then
Yeah.
you want to choose, like you say, a couple of affiliate networks to start. You don't want to go crazy because time, right? You don't want the whole point of doing communities is to maybe try and reduce some of that overwhelm, not just add a whole new level of overwhelm. And so, you can do simple things like set a 20-minute networking sort of routine. So, maybe on Monday you comment on a couple of posts within your network. Wednesday you answer something or offer a helpful tip to help build up your authority in that area. And then on Friday, you can reach out to somebody. Now, most of these places have DM options. You don't have to do that if that's really not your thing. We are very much not, you must be in the DMs. Now, we won't lie to you. If you can be comfortable in the DMs and good at it, it will absolutely help your marketing. That's not a lie. It's just a fact. But if you're really super uncomfortable with it, don't do it until you are, right? Practice that. Practice being answering those things and reaching out to people publicly until you're comfortable doing it privately. Because yeah, that can be a very big hindrance for you. Because we've seen where conversations start simple, but then you can never push it to the next level, or they drop right off because you've pushed it too hard. So, that's a skill set that you'll have to learn.
Yeah. It's not easy, but if you're good at it, it can really skyrocket your business.
Yes. Well, education, right? Practice,
Yep.
training, all those good things. And then, of course, like we always say, track what you're doing, right? So whether you're using Google Sheets or you're using Notion or you're using Excel, you want to track the programs that you've applied to, like for your affiliate place, um, and their cookie durations, their commissions, their payout methods, so that you know what's going on. And also track where you're putting your information. What groups do you belong to? Um, and like if you've dropped something really important, follow the metrics on that and see how it's hitting and resonating, and seeing if it's adding people to your network, to your group, or if people are trying to find you outside of that community to try and connect with you outside of that, and seeing if it's helping you as well. And if you're getting any sales,
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah. If you're wasting time in 10 groups, but two are actually, bringing you engagement and those conversations, then, maybe stop wasting your time in the other eight. Like we
Yeah.
all do it where we think something's going to, be a great way to get our name out there. And then, you got to cut out
Yeah.
what doesn't work and double down on what does work. And
Yeah.
that's where tracking it'll come in handy. Um, so when you're starting out, or even if you're just starting to build a community now, focus on that relationship building. Right, often your fastest path to executive or lucrative program is invites. Right, so think about like the conventions in Vegas for like the top YouTubers or the top affiliates with ClickFunnels, like things like that. The way you kind of get to there is to get your name out there and become known. And often, successful people don't mind sharing how they became successful generally.
Yes.
So getting in with these kind of people can also help you maybe, get over some of the hurdles that are new for you, but they dealt with 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So, hidden perks on platforms are also big, right? So like YouTube's great because you can do super thanks. I think I think school has some kind of like paywall type thing like that as well. But even when blogging, like we talk about Medium all the time because Medium is a great way to make money. But there are some blogging sites that allow your readers to tip you. So look for those kind of things as well when you're looking at your platforms to network.
Yeah. And it focus on the real user feedback, right? From networking sites versus relying on just the network's marketing. So this is where we say focus on the feedback, because that's super helpful for you, again, to know what's working, what's not. Maybe you're affiliated with something that's really just all that you're seeing is negative stuff. Don't discount that information, because that's boots on the ground information. That's a nice thing about communities, especially ones that are really organic like Reddit, is because it is boots on the ground. It's what people are actually saying, thinking, feeling, doing. Their real opinions on stuff. And now sometimes it can get, you know, who knows? But generally speaking, these are the people that you're trying to actually sell to, or the people who are actually, utilizing whatever it is that you're doing. Um, and so their information, their feedback is massively important. And you don't have to ask the questions. You can ask the question and get honest answers back without having to try and make sure that your newsletter is built up and you've got all the names and addresses and reaching out to people because they're right there. And take that information. Don't go, oh, well, but I love my product. Well, that's great. If no one else does, you might want to rethink it, especially if you're trying to make money. You can love it and not sell it. So,
Yep, they're called passion projects for a reason sometimes, right?
yeah, yeah. Many an artist knows this one. I write for me.
Oh, I love it.
uh,
So yeah, a lot of brands and marketers have reported, an uptick in sales just from creating those communities, which again makes total sense. Even if you're not a coach, so I think people think community and they think they have to be a coach or a mentor or something like that, and you do not. Like if you know that coaching is not your theme, that's fine. You can still have a group. Make it, be very honest about the fact that it's, you're not there to coach them, but you're just there to share your resources or whatever. That's absolutely fine.
yeah,
But 70% of successful affiliate marketers became that way from peer networking, which is huge, right? That's why
yeah,
we talk about the 3-month death date with a lot of them, because they jump in, they think they know everything, they get a really bad program or they get really bad advice. They don't make any money in the first 3 months, and then they go, okay, well, this is crap. This isn't worth it.
yeah,
And a lot of that could be saved just by, connecting with the right person who's been doing it for years.
And yeah, and honest information about how it is actually work. And no, it's not, there are people that, yes, absolutely, slam dunk out the door. But most people, it takes a while for them to get moving. The goal is progress, not perfection. And every step that you take is progress. And if you can build on each month, that's awesome, whether it's your education or your income. So,
Yeah.
yeah. And what is it? Like 65% of people who are in affiliate marketing um, feel that platform support and community access is more important than just a high commission. Because a high commission is great, but if you've got no support, you're not making anything, no matter whether they're giving you 60% of it or they're giving you 10% of it, right? So having that community and that support is super helpful to help you reach your goals. And also, it's the same as like whether it's your affiliate community specifically, or if it's just outside community of people who are all in the same, who are all interested in the same stuff, but not necessarily your specific community. Having that support and knowing that if you're really frustrated, you can say, "Why isn't this working?" And somebody can say, "I don't know, but I'm there with you."
Exactly.
Yeah. We all
Or
need
just
misery
validate that
partners.
like it's not working for everybody, right? Like we all have that one thing where it's like, is it just me? Like, am I stupid? Do I not know how to do this? And then you go in the community and you're like, oh no, everyone's having this problem.
Yeah.
Okay, it's
Or
not
that,
just
or
me.
they have had this problem and they've found a way through it.
Yeah,
Whether it's a mental block or it's an actual learning problem, or something that's been confusing, and they help you navigate that. That's why those communities are there. They're to help you um, take that knowledge, and then you can implement that knowledge for your own business, and then also share that knowledge once you've implemented it and figured it out and seen how it works. Now you can be the mentor that goes in and says, "Yeah, been there, done that. This is how I managed to work through it." Um, and then you get to be that voice that is helping people, right? So, and that raises your authority and raises all that recognition and all those things that help you become the person that is the go-to person.
yeah, love it. So final thoughts. I mean, if you're already putting a lot of work into your content and whatnot, you might be going, "Oh my god, now I need to like do this." Are you kidding me? You don't have to choose between doing your content and creating these groups. You can use one to support the other. It's really easy. Again, it's just about setting it up the knowledge shares versus setting it up with the sales in mind, right?
Yeah.
So rather than just comparing the networks, compare the communities and the support, right? If I don't, I think people often get like, oh, it's over inundated on this one, or it's over inundated here. Like, yeah, there's a lot of people in affiliate marketing, but there's a lot of people in the world, so like,
Yeah.
don't get
Yeah.
overwhelmed.
And like we've been sort of saying over and over again, the communities that you're in don't have to be specifically affiliate marketing related, right? If you are in a health and wellness place, you can start connecting with people who are in the health and wellness industry, or people who just want to, who are asking questions about it and provide information in a non pushy kind of way, where they start coming to you and then they'll come and look at who you are and what you have to offer. You're drawing them in without dragging them in, right? And so that's a nice way to do it. And, the top performing affiliate marketers earn up to 30% more when they are combining that network marketing with your communities and whatnot with the passive content. So things like, TikTok and doing your reels and that sort of stuff. Um, by combining those two, they're upping their entire income by almost a third, which is, a third is a third is a third, right? The
Yeah.
more you get, the more you get.
Yeah. And if you're monetized on YouTube and you've done a few, tutorial videos, then you can always share those as well. And then, that video just keeps getting views, which is awesome. I would say, obviously, before you share a video or anything like that, though, get their permission and make sure you're doing it the right way.
Absolutely, absolutely. And these are all different ways that you can build and grow. Do your research. As always, do your research. Find out what works for you. Maybe you're not a Discord person. Maybe Reddit is more your thing. Or, maybe LinkedIn is the best option for you because you do much more business direct kind of affiliate marketing. So research your platforms, find the communities that work best for you. Keep track of when you're when you're talking on them, when you're commenting on them, and seeing which ones actually have the engagement that you need. Don't be afraid to call the ones that don't. And don't overwhelm yourself by trying to be everywhere all, at once, because that's only harmful for you. When you have a great big team and, then you can be everywhere you want to be as long as, you've got the team doing it for you. But when you're on your own, try to make sure that it's manageable for you, because we always want to try the next best thing, create the biggest thing, but not at the expense of your own sanity.
Yeah.
So next week, my dear.
Yes, next week we are off because I have to go to LA again. But then the week after that, we will be talking about what we do, which is podcasting for affiliate marketers and how to get started.
Yeah, because, it's a great way to get over that fear. And I mean, podcasting is both audio and visual. Like, you don't have to be on camera if you really don't want to, but it's not that scary.
It really isn't.
All right. Well, I hope that you have a safe trip next week. And we look forward to seeing you the week after that. All right, everyone. If you found this helpful, please drop a comment, share, and hit that subscribe button. Your feedback is super helpful in growing this channel.
And of course, if you have any questions or if there's any specific thing that you would like us to talk about, drop that in the comments too. Happy Friday!
Happy Friday, everyone!